towards a vicious dream. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads, heads, heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. Fear and hatred, dull and jaded. It's all been debated and manipulated. Nothing's ever as it seems. We're bound to believe everything they scream. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads, heads, heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh. Highly sedated, intoxicated. We're automated and overpopulated. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads, heads, in our heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh. Highly sedated, intoxicated. We're automated and overpopulated. We're all fish in a stream, swimming towards a vicious dream. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads, heads, heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. intoxicated. We're automated and overpopulated. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak.
Hi there, they call me the Governor, and I am here with some fine people to talk about The Walking Dead, Season 11, Episode 22. And before we get into that, I would like to have them introduce themselves. And first of all, I'd like to welcome back Reiner, a.k.a. Werewolf, who has been out on medical leave, as you say. How are you doing, Reiner? Say hi to everybody.
I'm doing all right today. I'm good to be back, and can't wait to discuss this episode with y'all and have a great evening and time with y'all.
That is awesome. And now, the hottest working reactor in the business, Tomaj.
What's going on, y'all? Y'all know me from Big Bro and Lil Sis Reacts. My 11/23 reaction is up, and if you know, you know. When this is done, go check it out if you ain't seen it.
All right, mine will be up tomorrow, you bastard. Work getting around me. And of course, the woman who you definitely have to say, hey, what's cooking? John, what's going on? You're muted, I think, because I can't hear you. That was probably something very...
No, you ain't muted, but I can't hear you either.
No.
You're muted somewhere, not on Zoom, though.
Yeah, check what microphone's chosen by Zoom, because that could be causing the problem. We heard you before. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. Who's going to provide the elevator music? Well, Machond gets that taken care of. It is my understanding that AMC Plus people get to see the episodes early, but apparently the finale will not be early for us AMC Plus people. So we're still going to be doing 23 next week and 24 the following week. Just Tomaj might not be able to get his early reaction out. So,
And now it's gonna kill me.
Can y'all hear
What
me?
am I supposed to
now
do
we can
next?
hear
Yes,
you.
you're back.
Machond, what's cooking?
Okay, anyway, hello, good afternoon, people. Even though I get Walking Dead early, I refuse to watch it early because I'm trying to hold on to these last few episodes. And my 11/22 reaction is uploading on my website now.
Well, glad to hear it. And we got a bunch of people. Deborah's, Miss Kayla, Rita's World. Big Bro, what are you doing in the chat? Lots of people in the chat. And again, I just want to remind people we are talking about episode 22. There are people like Machond who have not seen episode 23. So please, no spoilers in the chat. That would be much appreciated. Machond, you are again being called the Queen.
Yay!
But, but that's not why we're here. We're not here to bow before you, Machond. I'm sorry, but we are actually here to talk about Walking Dead. And yeah, now this episode started off again with, some type of flashback. Was that the Maggie thing, or I'm trying to remember who was it? Or was Eugene?
Negan.
Oh, Negan. Yeah, they all blur together. So we're basically looking at all the highlights from Negan's wonderful interactions with, the Alexandrians and, Hilltop people. Any thoughts on the flashback before we go forward? Rana, do you want to start us off?
I thought it was pretty good to see, again, where he came from, what he was, what he became. It was a good touch-up on Negan. I miss the old Negan. I'm sorry, guys. I do. I love Negan. I love the old Negan. I kind of find him kind of a pussy right now. So, yeah, that's my opinion.
No, we take any Negan bashing over here. You're good.
Well, you're not lying. He's not the swagger and badass he used to be. Tomaj, your thoughts?
Of course, I was not happy seeing that dang lineup flashback. I did not need that in my life. I don't know. There was a lot of anger. Probably, I don't even know what I said. I was probably in a blind rage. I don't know. I don't have any thoughts, I guess. I didn't like it.
I can understand that. Machond?
Every intro so far has been so good, and Negan getting one is obviously very good to the story. It's very good for the storyline. And what got me was when Judith was like, my dad wanted mercy to prevail. I said, girl, not you quoting Rick. Oh, it was good. It was very, very, very good. Negan deserved a nice roundup at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, but I will say that Rick didn't want mercy until Carl, basically pleaded with him and then died. So, yeah, Negan has come a ways from the swaggering,
dick swinging Negan.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say Lucille swinging, but, if you want to be crude there, that's
Dick
fine.
swinging Negan.
Yeah, he does like to think he's got a bigger dick than anybody, but nowadays I think it's a little shriveled and small. The water's cold, I guess, that happens.
And it is cold outside. It was like snowing at the end, but like it was cold.
Yeah. Ooh, we have a cat.
That's the first cat of the night. We're going to keep count.
Yeah, I don't know. I have cats over there, but they're too shy. Sky might be by later, so that'll be good. So we get into, the work camp, and I got a little confused because, they're working, and then we see, and they're keeping track of the guards because, it's what you do. But Annie's showing up. I was like, wasn't he designation 2? Or, I thought they were like sent, elsewhere, but I guess not.
I think they only specified that Connie was designation 2. But her, I think they just put her in a different group, like a different camp, because there's apparently multiple labor camps. So she was just put in a different one. But apparently they were short-staffed or something, probably because they slaughtered a bunch from the episode before. So I guess they combined workforces or something.
Well, with Negan and our people, they were all captured together and they was all going to the same place. The only reason they stopped them at like their railroad area because they wanted them to work. And then the next day, that was when they took them over there. I thought they was going to end up taking them somewhere completely different. I didn't know Negan and his wife and them was going to end up being at the same camp. Yeah. So when I saw everybody, I was like, oh, we might be able to work with this. It's a few of us together. It ain't the whole group, but we could do something.
I think it's pretty much everybody.
Yeah, they revealed Nabila.
Everybody but the kids,
Princess.
basically. Everybody but the kids.
Ryan, any thoughts on the whole? And plus the interactions, because obviously Ezekiel and Negan are still not buddy-buddy.
No, and that kind of annoys me, Ezekiel and Negan at the moment. I'll be like, so many things happen in between, and Ezekiel, you need to, like, live up to the present, like, y'all in deep shit. Y'all need each other's help. Stop, like, being such a turd, really.
Well, I mean, if it's not quite the same as, what Negan took from Maggie, but, because of Negan's actions, close friends of Ezekiel, as he said, that guy Ben, Henry's brother, died. I mean, yeah, it was that long-haired guy. What was his name?
Goldilocks, that's what I called him. I don't know his name.
Goldilocks.
I mean, the actor's a very nice guy. He actually played the part of Jesus in a stage thing that we did at one of the Walker Soccer Atlantas. Nice guy, very, very, very cool. But yeah, his character sucked donkey balls. So, and did some horrible things. So I can understand Negan. Ezekiel's feeling towards Negan, but I do think, yeah, it has been a while. I mean, it's been what, 7 years since the end of the war, because he spent 6 in prison, 7, 8 years.
Well, yeah, but he also killed Alpha, so without Negan, Alpha would still be there.
Well,
I think they need to give him some slack,
Coming to Ezekiel's defense, I liked it because he spoke for me. I'm bitter. I'm the number one bitterest reaction.
No, you're not number one. I'm right there with you. This is my thing. I fuck with Ezekiel. I absolutely adore King Ezekiel, and I'm so happy he outlived his comic book counterpart. But with Ezekiel, Ezekiel has avoided Negan for years because he didn't want nothing to do with him for obvious reasons, and I can completely understand that. But because they need each other, and Negan came to him, he was like, I could put that shit to the side for the greater good. But just so you know, I don't fuck with you. And as I say, it does not make sense to kill Negan at this point. If they was gonna kill Negan, he should have died when Rick slit his throat. But since he's alive, I love Negan slander. Like, I don't care. Slander him until the end of time in the name of Glenn. Just off Glenn alone, not including everybody else, but
And
just
it's
off
completely
Glenn alone.
justified.
They was
Yes.
beating Negan ass this episode.
I was cracking up.
His-
That shit was funny.
I
I
started to
felt so
feel bad.
for Negan. Like,
I
felt so
started to
bad
feel
for
bad.
him.
Yeah, they was beating his ass this episode. From the beginning to the end, literally beating his ass. I kind of feel bad a little bit because they was whooping his ass.
The poor baby. Y'all so mean to him.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, I mean, I'm concerned about his baby, and I was not pleased.
I'm riding for Annie. Every time she come on screen, I'll be like, I wish y'all would
She's
touch her.
badass. Like, she's wearing the pants between them
I
two.
love
That's
her.
obviously.
I see why Negan like her. I love
Ain't
her.
no fear
he
in her
doesn't
heart.
take his shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that little dust up in the beginning when he's like trying to get some, help put in some extra time so that, Annie can get, a little bit, more rest and stuff like that, which showed, how Negan has changed. He's not the self-centered prick he once was, whether you forgive him or not. But I do find it interesting that last episode, we kind of got some sass from the troopers who were like, how hard can it be? Oh, how hard, we saw that they had personalities, and now we're seeing that even more. Because before this, they were just, faceless, stormtroopers that, you didn't think about the fact that they were human underneath. But in the last
we didn't
couple
get the chance to
episodes-
talk to them. It was like on site, we got to kill you because it's a lot going on right now. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
but now
because
towards-
some of them are way too loyal to Pamela and Lance, and that's an issue. So those ones that are really the faceless, non-personality folks.
Mhm.
Some of these other ones, as we learned throughout the episode, they don't actually want to be here. So those are the ones you're going to get more personality out of, and I like that they did that.
Mhm.
Yeah, though the warden's like, Lance's, understudy. He's just a total fucking prick. Let's check
As
in.
soon as
Go ahead.
As soon as they showed him in the beginning of the episode, I was like, they keep showing him. Is he gonna live through this episode? I literally said that when the episode first started. I'm like, why do they keep showing him? Is he gonna die?
Possible or
Right, it was a possibility.
yeah. The in the chat we got some people who mentioned that it was Jared was the one who killed Ben, so he went to Jared. Thanks, Cleo. Thanks. Who else said? And Laura. Yeah, we got several people who are basically chipping in that bit of information. Yeah, I kind of forgot his name. Wanted to forget the whole character, but he did shit. And yeah, and lots of standing for Annie. Lots of people are like, yeah, Annie is, great. Yeah, I think she's the one who doesn't put up with Negan's bullshit. So he has that little dust up. And, of course, hiding in the woods, we got Carol and, the team of 6, Force 6 from Navarone, ready to go ahead and,
Just outside Alexandria.
Yep. And they're having their little meeting trying to figure out how to get their people. And I'm really glad that they didn't forget about the sewers because, those have been, the savior of the community in the past from the saviors when Negan was breaking in. They've. So I'm glad that they went into that and, that was part of the plan. And Rosita is out of her mind about Coco.
The moment that we all found out the Outpost 22 was Alexandria, I was like, they're going through the sewers. Like I instantly, because what else are we gonna do? Roll up to the gate and be like, hi, let us in. And yeah, Rosita is ready to kill a bitch.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that I found that might be a minor inconsistency is the fact that if you look at season 9, episode 14, Scars, Machond sealed off the sewers in present day because of Jocelyn escaping from Alexandria through. So I don't know if
and
they
I was
undid
thinking about that. How did that work? They went through one that was a different one.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like there were two because didn't Maggie and Carol go through yet a different one?
Yeah, they went
They
through a
did.
different one. I don't know what Daryl and Connie went through. I don't know which one. They didn't show them coming out, but they showed Carol and Maggie coming out of one. I don't know which one Daryl and Connie went through, but they go
Maybe
through a
they
whole
just-
community.
Yeah, maybe they didn't seal them all off, or maybe they just undid it at some point. I don't know.
I don't know why they would have undid it, but
The one that Machond sealed off was like in the middle of like a main area. Like they wouldn't have been able to come up through that without being seen. That one.
Right.
It was somewhere
So-
near wherever the pantry was, but like in like the middle of the fucking street where everybody would be able to see you come out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, which they would have used that anyway, and probably get into the mind of my favorite person, Michonne. You know, who owes me a penny and an eye. She probably, you know, would have sealed that off, but I think that she would have gotten a lot of resistance from her sealing off all of the emergency tunnels. I mean, because they've been through so much shit, you know, the rest of the council would be like, you know, we'll seal that main obvious one, but,
Exactly.
you know,
Mhm.
we still need some secret bolt holes just in case something else happens where we get another wolf situation or, you know, we just got to get out another way. So she would have gotten some pushback on that. But yeah, Rosita's ready to just, you know, march up to the doors and knock and be like, give me my fucking baby or I'm going to rip your dicks off. You know, she is just like, you know, which I totally get. You know, I can understand that she's a tad bit upset when it's her, you know, baby, but yeah, she's like, all right, I'll stay out here with my ex, and you know, go ahead and have the sniper rifles just in case. But
And she's been missing for what? It's been at least a few days.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't want to say maybe it's quite been a week yet, but we've been with them every day in these past few episodes, literally every day. So it's been a few days, and I know every day that goes on, she like, I'm finna kill the first fucking Commonwealth person I see. Like, she is just ready.
yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. I'm waiting for that season 7 Rosita to come out and just say,
Oh,
fuck
she already
everybody.
passed that because
Yeah.
you see how she was ready to ride for Abraham. This her daughter. Nigga, wait, don't kill him yet. Like, yeah, she is
Hey.
not playing.
You're jumping to my favorite interrogation ever, even if it fails.
Okay.
Because that was an awesome interrogation. But yeah, so Negan has his little scuffle. Apparently, he drops the note that he was keeping track of all the cards, and that
Which
it's
made
found.
me so mad because
Same.
Ezekiel asked him for it for like 5 fucking times before that. Give me the
Standing
map.
right
Give
next
me
to
the
him.
map. Give me the map. Give me the map. Oh no, I'm gonna go talk to these guards real quick. Negan, give him the fucking map, Negan.
Like it wouldn't have took a second to hand it to him or put it down or something. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, we're not saying Negan. We're saying Negan's a little bit nicer than he was, a bit more of a pussy, as Rhina says. But we're not saying he's any smarter. So, you know. And,
Maybe it was part of the plan.
Yeah, so the warden drags him in. That warden's just like,
The worst.
yeah.
I hate him.
He worse than Pam. I could tell his energy. He worse than Pam. Just look at him.
People like him irritate me because they think just because they make decisions that are like so immoral and so wrong that they're making a hard decision, like they done been through something, like the way he was talking about leadership. And I'm like, you haven't had to lead nobody through nothing. You just tell people to do horrible stuff and call that a hard call. Like
Literally.
you don't know what it is to be a leader. Like
He's the
people
same.
like him irritate me.
He's the same as Pamela, really, but I want to say slightly worse because at least she pretend to be nice. Like he don't even pretend. She
No,
has
no.
other people do her dirty work, and he does the same thing. Like he's not actually doing anything. He just telling people what to do. But yeah, he's just like Pam. He just don't pretend to be nice.
Right. He running a slave camp. So like he got to be the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, to what you were saying about leadership, I mean, obviously, you know, yeah, he's not a good leader. He doesn't know what a good leader is. It's kind of like, you know, people are like, courage is being without fear. No, courage is having fear and doing it anyway. Being a
Exactly.
leader and making hard calls doesn't mean you don't have attachments to your people. It means that you have those attachments and you still decide to make the hard call that may result in the death of people that
Somebody you actually care about.
That's what being a leader is. It's being able to pull yourself back from that and say, I need to do this for the greater good. Not preemptively pulling yourself back from everybody and not giving a shit about them. And obviously he's not a leader that inspires confidence and loyalty, especially with that one guy who's like, his brother's sick and he wanted to go, and it's like, I don't know what he did to go around, for the transfer, but
I felt so bad for that man. I don't be feeling bad for the Commonwealth soldiers, but I could tell he really just got that job because he don't have a fucking choice. Like when he was like, oh, your transfer's been denied. He was just like, and then he was like, next time if you want to transfer, don't try to go around me. But my thing is, he probably run around you because he knew your ass was gonna say no anyway.
Right, because that guy's a hard ass for no reason. Like, he's just a dictator. Like,
doing that to people is not gonna make people stand by you and work for you.
Yeah,
I mean, look
at how
Dwight.
He made it worse.
Literally, look how Dwight did Negan. Why you think Dwight? You can't expect people to ride for you, and you treat them like that. That only works for so long until people get fucking fed up.
That's why true leaders know that their job is to serve their communities. And as I served Woodbury very well until they, the people screwed me over, and then I had to kill a bunch of them for running away from the prison. But we don't get into that,
Wait, that is forever one of my all-time favorite Walking Dead scenes. I should go back and watch that. It's fucking hilarious. He was so mad.
Well, I did so much for the people of Woodbury, and they let me down so badly. So I might have gotten a little bit mad.
Nobody in the history of Walking Dead has ever been that mad before. Like, Alpha ain't never even been that mad before. He was, ooh.
Rosita's coming close.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I gotta admit, I have my anger issues. But so the warden is basically trying to get information from Negan about who the traitor is in the middle. And it's like, really?
All of them.
A traitor? I mean, they're fucking prisoners. What they're not traitors. These aren't people who volunteered to come and help the Commonwealth out and do this hard labor for the good of everybody. These are fucking prisoners, and it's not being a traitor to try to figure out a way out of there.
I said
at
the
least
same
now
thing.
we know where Tyler is at.
That's true.
I couldn't remember his name. I was
It's
like,
the
the
missing
dude
people.
that was kind of leading the revolt. I couldn't remember his name for nothing, but I knew exactly who he was.
This is where all the missing people go on that list.
Exactly.
Well, other than the ones that Sebastian had sent to the house, but these are where the rest of them go. They go to these slave camps. Like, that's crazy. That's
Yeah,
really
we've been
wild
wondering
to me.
for quite a while where they went. Now we know.
Yeah.
And there's got to be at least 21 more outposts like this.
However many, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I mean, I don't think they just chose, 22 sounds like a good number. Let's just name it 22.
If we're going in order and Alexandria is 22, maybe Oceanside is 23.
Or 21.
Or 21, and Hilltop's 20 or 24,
That's still a lot of slave camps.
That's a lot.
Insane to me.
And are all of them still running? Are all of them still running?
Well, that's where all
Right.
you get all your people from. That's the 50K people they have. It's all prisoners.
What was the work that they were even doing? Did anybody catch that? Like, what was the purpose?
Well, it looked like they were clearing more tracks.
Clearing tracks
It
to
looked
for
like
the train.
It looked like they was rebuilding Alexandria to me, but I don't know because they didn't show like them coming and going and taking them to certain areas to work. It would just show them working.
I wasn't sure what they were actually working on, if it had a purpose or like, I don't know.
Carrying heavy shit, moving shit around, probably cleaning up, setting up Alexandria, making it better for them because they think they're gonna stay there.
We pick stuff
They
up
were
and we
too
put it
mistaken.
down. We pick stuff up and we put it down.
Whatever Negan was carrying looked heavy as fuck in the beginning. I was like, damn, sir.
Well, I imagine that they're fixing, and actually getting back to my initial thing about, them separating some of the people. I think what they did with Annie and the people that they separated is they sent them ahead to Alexandria to get quarters ready for the influx of prisoners. That's probably what happened.
Mhm.
So they were put to different work while everyone else was clearing tracks. But yeah, that's what I think they were doing. But then again, when you think about it, sometimes the writers are like, well, let's make them prisoners and they're in a work camp, but they don't think far enough ahead to be like, what is the work doing? What is the goal of this work? What happens if the work doesn't get done? They're just like, oh, we're just going to put them in a shitty work camp. They don't care about what the work is.
I want to see the people that's building them motherfucking cars, them four-wheelers, them motorcycles. That's what I want to see. Who's building those?
Well, where is the Commonwealth located? I mean, I thought it was
in relations to everything else. I don't think we know.
It's like
they might have said it, didn't they say it? But I don't remember what they said.
It takes a long time to get there. I know that.
Let me look it up because I believe they said it.
Because remember when Pamela went for the
Ohio
first time,
or Pennsylvania?
Pamela was in the carriage when she went. Didn't it take like 2 days to get there?
Yeah, I'm not. Well, I mean, driving, it didn't take. It seemed like they were there like maybe a 24-hour drive, but rough roads.
Yes,
I mean,
it says Ohio.
Okay, so
Ohio.
Yeah, it says Ohio.
What's in Ohio? The Commonwealth?
Commonwealth, yeah.
Where in Ohio?
I'm trying to see. Is there an Ohio, Virginia? Like
Alexandria is where near the capital.
I don't know.
In the Virginia area near the capital. That's where
the Alexandria Free Zone, and I mean obviously Oceanside is on the ocean.
Closer to the water, exactly. So and the hilltop is somewhere in between that, I think.
Someone in chat says in the comic located somewhere in Ohio, but at the train tracks season 10, they went to Charleston, West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I was gonna say it has to be closer to them, so makes sense.
So I'm not sure. I know in Kentucky there are some Ford plants because I have a friend who I believe he still works at a Ford plant in Kentucky. But yeah, I don't know if they have any plants. There could be some. Well, first of all, I don't think the writers are like necessarily being like, well, it needs to be here because there's a Jeep factory. I don't think the writers are doing that, but I'm sure there's probably some kind of factory in West Virginia, and that would particularly solve that problem. But then again, a lot of the parts are usually manufactured overseas or down in Mexico, so I don't know how they're producing a lot of these new things. Anyways, so where were we? So Negan is being asked to basically, rat out whoever the conspiracists are, and they make a good point in the chat. They're exiles. How can you actually, be a traitor if you're an exile? And we lost.
I think we lost Machond.
Or we just lost her video. She just turned off her video just to be mysterious. I don't know. And now
audio's out again, Machond.
We still can't hear you, and I'm not
First
Connie.
word,
I can't read your
like.
lips. So, and now you look frozen.
Yep.
Hopefully her internet didn't go back out again.
Now you're laughing and you're not muted, and I can't hear you. So.
Nope.
Can't.
Let's go to the commercial
She's
break.
screaming, and we can't. Again, technical difficulties. Please stand by.
I've watched so many of her videos, I can hear her scream without her actually screaming. It's so funny.
And I can hear her laugh without hearing her laugh. Yeah, play around with your audio settings because, we need the voice of Machond. Well, while she's trying to get back, yeah, we got some people in the chat saying, yeah, and the comics in Ohio, then Charleston, West Virginia. Someone said they were raised in Southeast Ohio, and her aunt lives in Virginia, and it's like a 6-hour drive. And yeah, I mean, the roads aren't exactly, there's no infrastructure plan for this shit. So, yeah, we got some people who apparently knows Chandler. Okay. Yeah, so my cousin David Morrissey will be at Monster Mania this weekend. But anyway, enough flexing. Let's move on. Do we have vocals? Sean, say something.
Nope.
No. I could lip read the oh shit. She said oh shit, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And she can hear me. She just can't, just go to your settings in Zoom and see what your microphone is set to. And make sure it's plugged in.
She's about to go Rosita Eyes on her mic.
Have you tried turning the computer off and then back on again? Is it plugged in? Sorry, it's my IT crowd reference. So while Machonda's getting herself all good, so we have Daryl and Connie on a little date. He takes her to the nicest places. He takes her to a sewer tunnel. And Sean, if you have to, you can disconnect and reconnect if that's part of the problem. But just check your audio settings. But because we do need to hear you at some point. So they're down in the sewer tunnels going through, and Connie's like, "Are you okay? It's okay to be scared." Daryl doesn't like to admit that he has any fear. But I was a little concerned about Connie being in a dark tunnel where there were obviously biters, and she's a very capable person, but she is deaf, so she doesn't have the warning that someone who could hear would have. So I was a little concerned about that, but it turned out to be a non-issue.
Yeah, I think that comes with being around someone you trust. I think she knows Daryl will have her back regardless. So, I mean, she survived in the middle of a horde, so by herself. So, I mean, she escaped Alpha's tunnel. Yeah, so she's good. There ain't no fear in Connie's heart. She done been through it all.
Yeah, she's tough, and yet she smiles. She smiles more than any other character, even Ezekiel on the show, I gotta say. Especially when
this world has not dulled her spirit at all.
So they're going through.
She's with the person she loves.
Speak, woman. Speak. Are you gonna say something, Machond?
Hello?
Yeah,
We can hear you.
I'm not touching shit else. I'm moving my mouse away from me.
All right. She has a voice once again. So yeah, they're making their way through the tunnels. Connie's trying to comfort Daryl. Touching scene, and of course, Maggie and Carol are going through some other sewers. And I'm like, they reach up and they're moving that grate, and I'm like, that is not quiet. I mean, I hope there's nobody nearby, because that was a little irritating. So, you have any thoughts, Machond, now that we can hear you?
It was like, well, I can't do that noise. The iron, steel, whatever, scraping against the ground. Everybody going through the sewers. So going through the sewers, I really, 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 really like the Donnie, of course. That was great because Daryl is worked up for obvious reasons. They got my people. They got all my damn kids. I'm finna kill these people. Connie was like, and he was like, okay, I got it together. Literally, there's few people that could calm Daryl down, and clearly Connie is one of them. So I really, really, really like that. And Carol is the only person that can even remotely console Maggie at this point, because she just is about to lose her mind over her child. And I'm just so happy her and Carol are together, because it is very, very rare that we get her in Carol's solo time. Like, the only solo Maggie and Carol time that I could think of is when they had to burn them bitches up in that building and Rick had to come get them. We don't really ever get Maggie and Carol by themselves. Usually they're together when like everybody is together anyway. So I've been thoroughly enjoying Carol and Maggie together.
Agreed.
Well, they were sneaking through the building. That one guy spotted Maggie, and Carol took him out. But I'm wondering, aren't they going to miss that guy at some point? Isn't that
at some point?
And then they're in the kitchen. On the other side of the door is a bunch of, stormtroopers doing whatever. And they're having a and they're not being that quiet. I'm like, shit, no, shut up.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. I was like, Maggie, I know you're losing your mind right now, but shh.
Yeah, they're
like she's literally she in that little bitty room trying not to have a panic attack. You crying real hard when you like she is in there trying not to lose her damn mind.
And I mean, how thick can the doors be? It's not that.
I don't know. She kept saying she thought she heard his voice, and she actually wasn't losing her mind. She was, so that was crazy. I knew it was one of our kids. I recognized his voice, but I didn't know it was him.
Herschel was in there raising
why
hell.
He was on his own. Like, why was he in there alone though?
Mm-hmm.
That was a red flag for me too. I'm like, why was Herschel in this house by himself, tied up, getting cussed out by some grown man, talking about be quiet?
Grown ass man.
Like, what?
Like, what did he know that the others don't know? I mean, if someone was a danger to them, it would have been Judith.
Exactly. The girl with the katana. Like, 'cause I know she cut somebody's leg up before they snatched her. Ain't no way.
You said Judith better had got a lick in.
Like she did Virgil.
Right? I hope all of the kids is together. I've been saying I need our kids to be a Chuck E. Cheese, but judging by the looks of what they had Herschel going through, I don't got much faith in that. I'm upset because they mistreating our kids.
I'm wondering, were they like interrogating each of the kids?
That's what I was wondering.
I mean, I don't like to think about any other reason someone would take a young boy into a room alone. I don't want to think about that shit. That's too dark.
Got him tied up and shit. That boy ain't nothing but 10. Not even. How old is he? 8? 7?
I think he's like 8.
That boy ain't a day over 10 years old. That boy about he ain't as old. No, Judith is the one that's 10. He about 8 at the oldest.
The way though, after the door was kicked in, that Carol didn't hesitate to shoot him. She shot fast. I was loving that.
Right between the eyes.
Instant headshot. Maggie kicked that bitch in. The man barely got to look at them. All he got to do was turn around.
Oh, Carol was thinking, not another child.
Literally. Oh, that was so good. Herschel was in there raising hell. He ain't telling them nothing. Now, if any kid was to tell, it'd be Gracie. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah, Gracie seems a bit soft.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
You would think somebody like Aaron, who is so well qualified to teach somebody how to survive, would have raised a tougher child. You would really think that, but I know Aaron probably just want her to be what's best, the best of the world. But sir, that girl ain't got nothing but a whistle, and that ain't gonna help her.
So that was cat number 2.
All the state capitals though.
Montpelier. Yep. Yeah, that's gonna come in handy in the after the apocalypse. Most of those towns don't even exist anymore. So
exactly, blown to shit.
So they're going through their stuff. We have, and then there's Negan, who is basically getting more shit from Ezekiel, and I don't know. At what point do we want to start talking about the trial?
I want to talk about that so much.
We can talk about it now because they was jumping back and forth between everybody. Yeah. They just was going back to back to back to back to back.
So we're leaving off.
Can we talk about the judge first?
With Outpost 22.
All the way for Pamela.
Yeah. She was appointed by Pamela. It's like...
Exactly.
And that's not that much different from real life now, because when politicians appoint judges, a lot of times that judge will find a way to... rule in favor. And I actually got to say, I don't know if Yumiko was holding back, but there's a lot of stuff that she could have done in defense of Eugene at this trial. Like getting witnesses to say, before this Rada, as they call them, munched on Sebastian, where was it? And, they could say, well, it was attacking a young lady, and the defendant rammed into the rudder, and it ended up going in the direction of Sebastian, and then he got attacked. It's like, so he was defending somebody else with the unintended consequence that this biter went to someone who's supposedly really good with the dead. He's really good with the rotters. His heart rate goes down. He's able to take care of them. We've heard this from his own lips, right?
And our fucking child put the walker down. That's missing.
Yeah.
By the way, this is my thing with the trial. It was a trade-off. In the comics, we got trial, but we didn't get to see how the Commonwealth runs. In the show, we got to see how the Commonwealth runs in no trial. I was like, okay, so did y'all pull out all of the paperwork from all the missing people? Y'all had all this tea. Where is it? So I don't even know what was said at the trial. They showed that little piece of Pam, and just when she asked about the lottery, that was literally it. I was like,
listen, that fake crying of her to begin with. Oh my God, listen, I wanted to fucking throw my remote through my TV. That made me so mad. I'm like, bitch, where are your tears? You don't even miss your son? Absolutely not. Like, please, just, I'm getting mad just thinking about it. Like, Eugene was crying harder for Sebastian than his own freaking mother did.
Facts. Because Eugene, I don't know if Eugene ever actually like just straight up killed somebody before. But
the saviors with the bullets, he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, but he didn't directly like shoot somebody.
So Eugene is not even that type of person.
He only killed some people.
It would have to be like I'm sure like maybe something he's done is like kill people and like all that war or some shit. But like as far as like just Eugene is not hand-to-hand combat killing nobody. Like he would really have to have a reason. But
Daryl would
I
disagree.
Really wish I really wish we would have got to see more of the trial. Where's Machond?
I agree.
Yeah, Yumiko, there was a lot of defense. I mean, obviously, I guess they didn't want to mention Max because she could have also been called as a witness to say that was Sebastian's voice.
But
that's what I was hollering about my reaction. I'm like, she asking Mercer to come to the stand, but I'm like, what happened to subpoenas? When do we start giving people choices? They're supposed to be forced to come to the stand if they know something. Like, that was making me so mad, but they didn't give no time or no love to this trial. And I thought it could have been real juicy too.
I wanted to see everything.
I did. They wanted to allocate time elsewhere, but I thought it would have been really good.
It wasn't Sebastian's voice. We all know this. It wasn't his voice.
Like, whose was it?
It sounded exactly like him. His own tone, his own sneering.
Right.
The Commonwealth got a lot of shit, but I ain't seen one computer. What fucking software did he use to edit his voice? Let me know, please.
And their stuff goes back to 2010. They ain't got no new technology. So
what
how?
Software, ma'am? Did he had Adobe Premiere? Yeah. He made he
had Audition. He was able to take somebody else's voice, and I'm sorry, I have that software, and I can't really take somebody else's voice and make it sound like I don't have that expertise.
It made the crowd speak up though. When Pamela said that, you heard people go like, "Oh, like." Wait up! Like there were a couple of people who were like, "Wait, Pamela's for the lying here." We all know this is Sebastian's voice, so maybe that might actually be her downfall.
I think that was the win that Yumiko was going for. She needed to win the people and rile them up because you see, that was what she was pointing out.
Because ain't never gonna win, Pam.
Right? They already knew coming into this trial, the verdict was already pre-decided. He was guilty. Yeah. So in their eyes, there was no point in that. They needed to get the people on their side, and that's what they did. But it's like, okay, what do we do with that now? You still gotta figure out how to throw the crowd at them somehow.
I just wanted to see more of it because so
I agree.
Everybody was interrogated before even getting into the Commonwealth, and they showed short moments from everybody being interrogated before we got into the Commonwealth. And in them few minutes we got to see Yumiko when she was talking her shit. She was able to get us into the Commonwealth. She didn't talk no shit at this court case. I was waiting on her to talk shit like she did in the interrogation to get us in the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, ma'am, I really wanted to see it. I got just a little bit of joy when she was like, "What about the lottery?" And Pamela was like, "Oh shit!" And all the people was like, "Yeah, bitch, what about the lottery?" So
It was a bit of a miss. Like they could have done a lot more with Yumiko in this episode.
Definitely.
Especially because she was so specialized in it, like in the past before like the apocalypse and shit. So that was like a big miss to me. Like this could have been her time to shine because we haven't seen a lot of Yumiko like throughout the seasons.
Like these episodes should have been an hour and a half. These are the last few.
This episode was short.
Yes, there was so much they could have added to just give it so much more flavor. Like the trial definitely should have been way bigger than what they had filmed.
It was so big in the comics. I was kind of hyping it up, not gonna lie. But I'm telling you, even in them few minutes that they showed us when Yumiko was being interrogated, I was like, oh, she's talking her shit. She's the reason that we got into the Commonwealth so fast. So I just knew she was finna go crazy for this trial. And I was just like, the lottery, like that's it? Like that's all we got to hear Yumiko question her about? And then, Pamela and the judge got on my last fucking nerve. Pamela said, "That was not my son." I was like, the audacity. I couldn't believe it.
Even the judge side-eyed at her. Did anyone notice that? Like, even the judge side-eyed at her, like, at that point, like, okay, what am I going to do now?
I couldn't believe she stood up and said, that is a tape recorder that looked like it was from it looked like a cassette from the 90s that niggas used to rap on and put in their beatbox, in their jukebox thing. That's what that looked like, that she recorded him on. And you mean to tell me that was not Sebastian? Somebody recorded something and made it sound like Sebastian. I mean, it just is beyond me.
I mean, if
only the governor could get away with that.
If they're using cassette tapes, they don't have the technology to do like digital enhancements of the voice, and it's
a literal cassette that she had to press record on. Okay,
she had to hit play and record at the same time because that's how those things work.
What the fuck? That was just beyond me. And
also, why was this not a trial by jury? Why did the judge get to decide? Like, I didn't get that part either. I was so mad. I'm thinking the whole time the people finna, decide the verdict.
Pamela makes the rules.
Yeah, I was so hyped. I'm like, he gonna get off. The jury gonna decide, and it was like guilty. I'm like, the judge decided. That's bullshit.
The people are on our side.
That's the way how they do it in Europe, though.
The people were not pleased throughout the entire trial at all.
No, they were not.
No jury, no subpoenas, no nothing. I'm like, come on, this is bogus.
And
ain't no way this is a trial.
And she had very valid objections, and the judge was overruling them. And it's like, really, it's.
And then hers got sustained or whatever it was.
The court is.
Oh God.
The court is for show to really give people it's supposed to give them a sense of fairness, but we all know it's all for show. And I was proud of Eugene because, Eugene ain't never been as selfless as he is right now. Eugene was a bitch. So seeing him say his little speech at the end, I was proud of him. I was like, okay, I was proud of Eugene.
I like the way how he used his time that he had and everything he had done, like during his time with the Saviors, and used it for an example to get into Mercer's head. And it worked.
This was my thing. So like Eugene literally has been in this situation before, but with Negan, he pretended to be on Negan's side. But in this situation, he didn't pretend to be on Pamela's side. If he would have did that, it would have been so easy. Like, it's easy to defeat her when she don't know you against her. Because now look at you, you're in jail. But, he got a girlfriend, so he all fucked up right now because he ain't never had a girlfriend before. But Mercer has been on our side the entire time, but he's just the only one being smart about it and not letting Pamela know he's not on her side. That's the thing with Mercer. I never doubted him. I always knew he was on our side. I was like, I don't know how he gonna do it, but he gonna be smart about it.
Yeah, I do want to touch on the chat because we got Laura saying that Pamela's fake tears gave her Amber Heard vibes.
Yeah,
literally.
And yeah, it was rigged from the start. North at 60 says, and whoa, and I totally agree with that. There was no way. I mean, there was a lot that Yumiko could have done as far as defending Eugene. And I think it would not have been in vain because it would have shown the people that we got all these other factors involved, that he was saving somebody else. You know, she could have done a lot, and it would have swayed the people even more. But yeah, they didn't have a chance in hell of winning.
They could have showed a security camera footage of everything that happened, and she would have been like, "That's a clone. That's not my fucking son." They made a clone in the lab. Like, she is I'm talking about sticking to her lies, sticking to it.
Well, yeah. There are plenty of politicians who, when confronted by, you know, proof and evidence of things that they've said, just say, "No, this is a lie. This is fake news." You know, whatever the case might be, they just basically, it's alternate facts. Are you muted again, Machond?
No, hello.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, I'm like, I didn't touch nothing. I'm not touching nothing, because every time I touch something, it cut off.
So just a reminder to all of our viewers: vote tomorrow if you haven't already voted. It's very important. Vote for people who don't lie.
Vote for people who care about Black people, because nobody do. Please, oh my God.
I mean, that's funny to asking vote for someone of government that doesn't lie. Who doesn't lie?
Everybody lies.
Who doesn't lie that badly?
They all do.
Who doesn't lie, obviously. Politicians, I mean, all of them there are downside to all of them, but there are ones who actually do stuff, and there are ones who claim they want to do stuff and then do the opposite and are just out to help the elite. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. We've diverted way too much. So
wait, no, really quick. The audacity of Tomaj to come on here with a Game of Thrones shirt. I've been wanting to say that the whole time.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said it.
They did.
Because I was watching it earlier. I know. I should have put a Walking Dead shirt on, but I was like, whatever.
Anything you got on a Game of Thrones shirt, the North, remember.
Because I watched episode 9. You know I forgot about the last episode 9.
It's okay. As long as it wasn't a Lannister shirt, it's fine.
Oh, no. That ain't coming in the house. No, not at all. I don't even type that word. I don't even say that word.
Lannisters always pay their debts. Come on.
No. I don't. We don't fuck with the Lannisters in this house, so it's a start.
Well, you know, the Lannisters fuck among themselves, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Literally, they don't need no help.
All right, so we might as well jump to the last scene, because dead man walking.
No, we got to talk about Luke.
He came back.
We do.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, we got to talk about Luke.
All right, so we'll talk about Michael's wonderful line, you know, later. So we do catch up with Erin and Lydia and her lover boy and Jerry, and yeah, and it's kind of funny because at Terrificon I had seen on IMDb that, you know, Dan Fogler was in a couple of the episodes, and when it came up, I'm like, you know, so how does it feel? You know, I know you're in a couple episodes in the last third, and he's like, how do you know that, man? You're not supposed to know that. It's like, yeah, he was freaked out. It's like, you know, it's it doesn't say what you're doing. It doesn't say if you survive. It doesn't do anything like that. But yeah, so they're on their way merrily to Oceanside when they get to meet up with Luke and Jules, just come popping out of the woods. And I don't know, did Luke seem high to you? He seemed a little high to me, like, I wanted to fight. He just seemed, I don't know, maybe he was in shock or something, or that's what he was doing, but he didn't come across with the normal Luke, you know, earnestness. He was just kind of mumbling, yeah, I wanted to fight. It does seem a little high. You know,
I don't know what the normal Luke is.
I thought he was tired. I thought he was tired because they've been on the run from the Commonwealth soldiers at Oceanside.
I ain't seen that character in like 30 episodes. I don't even know what the normal Luke is. Like, because it was like 10-16 the last time we seen him.
Well, I get the impression in real life he's...
Well,
maybe.
The thing is... No, listen, so... Before we met up with Luke, we saw Lydia and Elijah and everybody, they trucking through the woods with the horse and carriage or whatever. And Lydia killed Walker, and Elijah is obviously worried about his girl. And he was like, that could have been a climber. And she was like, I could tell it wasn't. And I was like, I know you care about her, obviously. You don't want nothing to happen to her. But if it's anybody's opinion, we need to trust on a Walker, it's her. Like, she got this. She got this.
Yeah.
So when he was trying to tell, like, how you gonna tell somebody who has been raised with walkers the entire apocalypse, not just dealing with walkers like everybody else, literally living with them? So if anybody got it, Elijah, relax, Elijah. Lydia got this. She know, like, relax. When Luke and them was in the woods, she was like, yeah, that was human. That wasn't a walker. Yeah. And then just out comes Luke. So I know we ain't seen him. And I said, I was exaggerating my reaction. I was laughing. It was like, we ain't seen this nigga in like 2 seasons, but I know it's been at least 1. So it was
10-16
nice
was the last one. That was over
And you don't know
20
what's going
episodes
on.
ago.
That was obvious too.
Someone in
No,
the
but he
chat
did-
is saying that he got chubby again. He was smaller last time
Okay,
I
so
saw him.
I thought that as soon as I saw him, but I didn't say it. Like, literally. Because you could just tell over time how his weight shifts.
Yeah.
Well,
He hold
munchies.
weight
I
in his
got the munchies. So, well, it's all that seafood he's been eating, probably
They've
lobster.
been too happy and comfortable at Oceanside. Living
Yeah.
So are we
What they say when
taking
you get married?
what he said as a confirmation that Oceanside survived, or are we still unsure? Because it wasn't clear like when he left, before or after Lance.
Well, he said they
flipped the
took
coin.
over, and it sounds like some of the Oceanside people got away. but
Yeah.
it doesn't seem
didn't
like
see Rachel.
he didn't say that they massacred everybody, because that would have been.
He said he wanted to stay and fight, but Jules was like, "Nah, we gone."
Well,
So,
I
but
thought he
did
said
they
Rachel
leave-
was like that, because
Right. And then we
So
seen
it's
Rachel
like
in the
they-
lineup. They flipped, but did he leave before that happened? So he don't
Exactly.
actually
I
know
think-
they
what the
weren't
outcome
there,
is.
and I think they probably
Yeah, they were
snuck
on their
towards-
way back home from somewhere, and they saw everything. And that they wasn't in the Oceanside when it happened. He didn't tell the story very clear, but from the way he told it, they
Well, he
saw it,
was
but they
high,
wasn't in
so.
there.
Oh, okay.
Because if you look at the video, him and Jules was not in the lineup with Lance.
But
No.
didn't Nabila go to Oceanside and stuff with the kids? Isn't that where she
No.
went when they left?
No, Nabila is in Alexandria and a prisoner. We don't know
Yeah,
where
Yeah,
she
that
got
now,
taken.
but when she left, did she went to Alexandria or did she went to Oceanside? Because if that means
She never
that
made it. They took
Oh,
her when they took Nabila when they took Rosita and everybody else, but I didn't know they had Nabila until this
Yeah,
episode
neither
came out.
did
I
I.
said,
Right, I didn't
"Bitch,
know
they
that
got Nabila too."
And
Oh,
the
I was
babies.
hurt. Leave her alone. We don't know where her kids at or nothing.
What's kind of funny with this episode is we didn't see on the bus, we didn't see Princess. Jack's trying to come in.
No.
Yeah, they picked
We-
them up from somewhere
We didn't
else.
see Princess. We didn't see Magda. We didn't
Magna.
see. We didn't see. A lot of the people that we saw later on were not on the bus with Annie and Negan and all that stuff. And Negan's like, well, no sign of Maggie or Rosita or Gabriel, but didn't say there's also no sign of Magda or
Mhm.
Because he didn't. Because it's weird because
There
they
were
captured
multiple
people at different times of day.
Mhm.
So that's why it's like whatever bus you got on, that was just the group that they captured you with, because they didn't send people to go get all of them collectively at the same time. They sent people at different times of day. So whatever bus you was on is just whatever bus you was on.
Yeah.
And that's just crazy to me. They bested some of our best fighters like that. That's just crazy. Like, I know they was off guard, but like, damn.
They
like,
didn't get Daryl and Carol, and the only reason they got
That was
Rosita
it.
is because they had 2 men against 1 woman. If it was 1 man, she would have beat his ass.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
That's why they sent 2 men. They didn't get Carol. She had to throw that.
But
shit.
we didn't know Princess was on there, but Mercer did.
Yeah.
Which leads me
I
to
was
thinking that
shocked.
Mercer was, once they took his woman, I think that was pretty much when he's like, all right, I got to figure out what I'm going to do, but this is going to end. And I think that's probably when he decided he was going to fuck things up,
No, Mercer was gonna help us anyway. I'm telling y'all, he was gonna help us anyway.
I think Eugene's speech inspired
Helped
him
him.
more, but it
Yeah.
didn't change the fact he was going to help us anyway. And welcome, Jack.
Hello.
Better
Mercer-
late than never.
Mercer
Yes,
is the only smart one, not telling Pamela he's against her.
Yeah, mostly, but we won't. No.
Yeah, he's the only smart one.
Yeah, and I think him not sharing his plans, because while the actress who plays Yumiko and the actor who plays Eugene, obviously they're great actors, but the characters are not great actors.
The characters are not great actors.
They are playing characters who are not great actors, so had he shared that information, it would have been bad.
Yeah. Eugene has whatever Eugene is going through, you can always see it on his face. Like Eugene be worried sick. Josh McDermott is great with faith. His nonverbal is insane. It is so good. And
a lot of people suspect he's autistic
too.
What's that?
That a lot of people I've heard suspect that Eugene is supposed to be autistic, which I would not put it past him to be. And do you guys know of anything else Josh has been in? Because I hadn't heard of him before this. And if this is his first major role ever, he's doing phenomenal.
He's knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, like his monologue in this episode was amazing. Like I like that they've refined his speech a little bit too, and like the speech pattern, because it was a little over the top early on. As was, I think, the Southern accents with some of our Brits. But I like that they've kind of, like, made him a little more natural. Because I feel like people would not be able to take Eugene remotely seriously if he had still been talking like he was in season 5.
Also, yeah, he's got a little more confidence now.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel the need to use every word he knows.
No,
he got a
which
little
is
more
good.
confidence now.
Yeah. He lost some of the chub. He scored a woman. He's killing walkers now.
He's off. Yeah.
Yeah, more than once.
Maybe
Josh wasn't in
maybe Luke
anything
shared some
major.
of his weed. I don't know.
Any movies or shows, or just nothing really?
Like TV shorts. He was in some TV movie, like a movie that airs just exclusively on cable. He was in like a pitch meetings. It says he did some. I don't know if this was a stand-up comedy.
Is this like early 2000s or?
Yeah, 2006, 2009. He did
Because
rehab
how old is
for
he?
reject.
What? He's like late 30s, early 40s, right?
He's 44 right now.
Wow.
Wow.
I was gonna say because Norman and Melissa are like pushing 60 now, right?
Norman is 50.
I thought
Norman and
They are
Jeffrey
not
is
that
50.
old.
I never said they look bad. I thought that.
Norman do
Hugh
not look
Jackman.
60.
Come on.
Have you seen his
56.
crow's feet?
We're
though?
not gonna do them like that.
Jack, do you know how many times I've met Norman and I just saw him again recently? Norman do not look 60.
Well, okay, Daryl looks like he's pushing 60. Norman maybe not, but Daryl has more crow's feet than
He don't
any
even
of
have no
my
gray
aunts.
hair.
Yeah, that's one thing that was really weird. Eugene seems to have like a little skunk strip now, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
You know,
did you do
people
that
age-
intentionally? I know it's weird though, because like I don't know, the aging of the characters in the show is weird, but
Mhm.
I mean, Melissa doesn't look that. I feel like her hair is what kind of makes her look older, because like her skin or like the wrinkles haven't really changed much. Like I saw someone do like a movie reaction to The Mist a few weeks ago, which was like 20 years ago. And
That was an old
like
one,
She looks pretty
Yeah.
much the same. Yeah.
yeah, other than like there's some slight but the main difference that I notice is the hair. Because like when her hair is longer and like all like crazy, it makes her look a bit older, but there's like barely any change. Like it's not like she's got like, the turkey like
The
gobble
gobble, as I call
yeah,
it.
like
Yeah.
I had a kindergarten teacher like that had like a proper
In
Java
other words,
thing
he
going
doesn't
on.
look like Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, like
I
that.
had an elementary school principal that literally used to call her a turkey. Like, I swear to God, it was like right in the middle. Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, good
If
lord.
there's
Y'all
anyone
wrong.
who turned gray quickly, that's Negan.
Wait, what did you say?
Negan, that one turned gray really quickly.
I
Yeah.
think they just
yeah,
stopped
Jeffrey
dyeing
The
his
first
beard.
time we seen him till now, he's like gray as hell.
Yeah.
Jeffrey been had the salt and pepper beard. Yeah, he been had.
Oh
that.
yeah, he's had that for a while,
It's
but he
giving
just
very
didn't.
much grown man.
Michael Cudlitz too. Like when he was in like looking at him in Lost and like Blue Bloods versus when he first came into The Walking Dead, you could tell that they dyed it a little bit, but I thought they just made it like a richer like ginger. but when I like met him at the cons, even in like 2016, I could see that it was light, like it was pretty light. It wasn't, but when I saw him within like the last year or two at cons, that's just straight not ginger anymore, not at all. And it's very fascinating to see that. Kaylee too. Kaylee looks a lot older this season.
Oh yeah, she does.
They've changed
She's
her
growing up
wardrobe,
like
and the haircut really made her actually look the age that she
because
did.
it made her look taller for some reason. And I mean, obviously she's at the age where she's hitting puberty and she's getting really tall, like out of nowhere. Carl had the same thing, like randomly between like second half of season 4, he shot up like it looked like 3-4 inches, because I think when in like the episode that Rick meets Aaron, not like when we first see him, but like the I think 5'11" or whatever, there's a scene where Carl goes to like hug Rick and he's like the same height as him. But like 4 episodes ago, he was like a head and a half shorter than him. It was like real weird, but yeah, I don't know. The acting though in this was it was real, and the ending for the.
How did you feel about the court case? I feel like we all felt like we should have got more court case.
So I've gone back and forth on this a little bit, because when my immediate thoughts right when I finished the episode and kind of while I was watching it were, it would have been nice to see more of this. And I feel like if this wasn't the final season, we would have gotten a full episode, just the court case, because I feel like there was a lot they could have gone into, but I don't think any of us really had any doubt that they were going to find him guilty. They were going to find him guilty. There was no really chance that they weren't, but I would have liked to see Josh kind of going toe to toe on some of this and like bring semantic, like, well, technically I didn't cause the death because I pushed the walker and it happened to just fall in. Like if they would have done like something where he could have explained it a bit, like it didn't even have to be that long, but even just like an extra, 5 to 7 minutes
would have been insane.
Yeah,
like even 5 minutes.
Not like straight, like just without cuts, but if they would have given like the court case as a whole, like an extra 7 was probably a bit much, like 3 to 5 minutes, like where he could have talked, because it seemed like it was like the end of like a Law and Order SVU episode where like we're getting like the tail end of the case. And
yeah,
I feel like
I'm hoping there was other stuff that was done.
They didn't
on
just
their
didn't
defense.
show it.
They just didn't show it, which is disappointing because I would have really liked to have seen a lot more. And Yumiko could have, by more vigorously defending, and again she might have, but we didn't see it, shown how reprehensible the court system and the Commonwealth really was.
Yeah, and I mean we could hear some ad libs in the background, even though not that many of them were captioned, but there were a decent amount where you could tell that she had gotten through to them. So I do think that we're supposed to believe that there was a decent amount of like back and forth.
Well, the civilians are on our side, just Pam and her people not. The civilians was like, oh, this some bullshit.
Even some of the elites seemed like some of the shit Pamela, they were like, what?
That was not my son. They was
that was like the biggest internal, the audacity type moment for me. I'm like, as someone that does editing, how can you even think
Jack,
that
with a cassette from the 90s?
Okay, yeah, like you're gonna be able to manufacture someone's voice? No. In an apocalypse? Absolutely not.
With
not
no
happening.
computers. No one has a computer.
Yeah.
Tell them we said goodnight.
They said goodnight. They're not trying to go to bed yet, but they appreciate it regardless. Love you too.
Ryan, I know it's really late for you. Don't feel like you have to stay. I mean, if you want to, you're welcome to.
No, I'm waiting for one scene that I want to discuss, and then I'm going to hop off because it's 4 a.m.
Is it the ending scene?
No, it's the scene with Negan on his knees. I did not like that.
I didn't
was
like
so
it either,
happy.
but some people were thirsting over it.
Listen, this scene.
There were a lot of really nice parallels.
This scene could have been so much better if we did not know we already had a spin-off.
Oh, that
Yes,
ruined it
thanks.
immediately.
I would have
for
been
me.
cheering.
The second that they brought it out, I was like, oh, well, I know he's fine.
Yeah.
Fact.
But then they brought out Annie, and I'm like, oh, hold on a second.
That scene could have brought me in tears, knowing that he could have possibly died. And I was like, nah, he's fine. He's going to New York.
I gotta say, out of all of JDM's acting, I think this is like up there with Here's Negan in terms of like the range and like the power that we saw. Like I think not only while I was editing it, but in every reaction that I've seen, there's like one chunk of dialogue that he gives it every single time. Even if I'm watching, like I watch it and then immediately go back and watch it again, it will give me goosebumps, take them away and give them back every time. And it was like the guttural, like what he does with his voice when he's like yelling, but it's like a desperate, like emotional.
No, Jack, when I tell
you know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
You are 1,000% right. Jeffrey was in his
like it's just
bag.
like I'm like
Jeffrey.
Listen,
I'm talking about he was spitting.
yeah, the blood.
That was giving me like John Winchester on steroids vibes. Like
Jeffrey was in his bag with this. That's one of my favorite Negan scenes. I was like,
did you notice
look
the
at him
boot?
getting a taste of his own medicine. I love to see it.
Did you notice he had the boot on?
His wife though, like he didn't even care what happened to him.
He had his boot on. Do you remember when
Jack and his damn boot?
He had the boot when he broke his foot. There was like half a scene you could see the boot.
Oh no, I didn't see it.
I didn't see it until post, but you for like a very like brief second you could see like on like one of the angles where they had him on his knees, you could see that he had the boot on from when he broke his foot. Which I was trying to figure out what scene did that.
I was literally finna say that he hasn't had any scenes that would warrant. Maybe he
like no, it happened with Norman Rides is when he broke his foot.
Oh, is that when Norman got the concussion too, or was it?
Yeah, that happened. Something happened. I think they fell or something.
I was gonna say I could see Norman getting it like when he did the scene where he slid the bike, because that seems like a scene that Norman would want to do himself.
Or was it the car wreck chase that they did? I don't know. Them the only crazy things they've done so far in 11C.
But I felt bad because when we went to the con, Machond, he went to the con in the boot.
In the boot, yeah.
Yeah, and he was suffering from what I saw on Twitter. He was not having a good time.
Nobody could even see him if you didn't have it. He was literally like behind the curtain.
Oh yeah, there were like 3 curtains. It was like more secure than Melissa was.
Yeah,
it was nuts. But oh my god, the ending to this episode I think might be my favorite ending to an episode in the entire like Walking Dead universe.
Oh
like,
no,
don't think before we talk about that,
it wasn't
I'm just saying just like the hype. And like final scene, not like ending as a whole.
The improv line was awesome.
That final line scene. I can't think of another episode that tops that for me.
Wait. So am I the only one that was like, I swear to God, I beat Negan ass if he said it was Ezekiel, because they timed it so perfectly and made it seem like
they had the spotlight on him and everything.
It was Ezekiel, because Ezekiel was like, "What did the warden say?" And Negan was like, "Nothing." And Ezekiel was like, "Nigga, you don't deserve to be a father." And Negan was like, I'm doing it for my child. Like, Negan was hurt when Ezekiel.
We saw the old Negan in that, like, little thing.
And they played the theme, too.
Yeah, and they timed it perfectly. And as soon as him and Ezekiel was done arguing, he went in there to go talk to the warden. I was like, I swear to God, if Negan says Ezekiel, like, I'm really done with Negan then.
It would have been so much more impactful. I do think they missed an opportunity here. As much as I don't want Anne and the baby to die, I think they missed an opportunity here, because I was expecting, like, I thought Walking Dead was about to do some Game of Thrones type shit or some
and kill Annie.
But the way that I thought they were going to do it was like how Eric went in the comics, where it was like, he's like, oh, there's no martyrs here. And like when it like panned and was following him, I thought he was literally just going to like just keep walking, bam, and just shoot her right there. Not like bring her up, just there's no martyrs here. Boop, boop, boop. Bam, just shoot her right in the head in front of everybody. Like, not to drag her out, nothing, just do it. Can you imagine how fucking crazy we all would have gone if that's what?
So sick.
It would have. I don't know that Negan would have the will after that to be going.
Oh no, he would have lost it.
He would have been Psycho Negan, and I really thought it was going to be Ezekiel too.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, when they woke everybody up in the middle of the night, they let everybody walk at their free will, but they had 2 niggas on Ezekiel, one on each side.
Because they know he's a bad motherfucker.
Were dragging Annie too, so
yeah.
He wasn't the only one who was being dragged.
I was like, I swear to God, if y'all get it, like,
Annie's done though. There's no way that she's gonna make it.
They're using our windmill to fucking slaughter people. I know y'all saw the blood lying
there. I was like, oh,
the disrespect.
Yeah.
And then he was like, there's no martyrs here. And I'm like, you're really going to turn them into martyrs if you kill his fucking pregnant wife while we're all watching, you fucking dummy.
Yeah. It was very reminiscent of a lot of scenes with Rick, though.
It was the lineup. It was Negan on his knees.
Even when Rick was talking about martyrs, Like Rick, when he was talking about, there's no martyrs, and it brought me to Rick and Daryl's conversation where he was like, basically telling Daryl that it would make him a martyr if they took him out now, and they were like bouncing between that. And then when he was like, "Oh, take me," it was reminding me of the scene with Carl, but also, well, multiple scenes with Carl, the like chopping his arm off one, but also the one with Joe and the Claimers a bit, where Rick was like in a panic and he was like, "It wasn't them, it was just me," and I was like, "Ooh." I was like,
He
yeah.
did give a little Rick scream. It had
yeah, it was great.
But you know, Rick will give you the snot, the spit.
Yeah.
He'll give you Andy gonna give you everything, bitch.
Did you guys see that they got? I don't remember what, or not remember. I don't recall off the top of my head what show or ceremony it was for, but they got nominated. The show as a whole, I think today or yesterday for something.
Oh no!
Finally, I'll send it to you guys when I think I saw it on like Instagram but when I find out, I'll send it to you guys. But they finally got nominated for something after fucking 11 years or 12 years. Took them long enough.
Best snot bubble. So Ryan, anything else you wanted to touch on about, I mean, I will say it was a very powerful scene with Negan.
It was. I loved it, and it was, I think, it's been a long time when we've seen Negan passionate, scared, actually.
Genuinely
and you can
scared.
see that he genuinely loves Annie, and Annie loves him so much. Like, she tried to, like, literally run to him. And I feel like he found his, like, second Lucille. And, like, I hope nothing's going to happen to Annie, but we all know probably that's not going to be it. She's going to probably get hurt. But I fear for Annie. I like her character, and I like the fact that Negan has found someone again and can actually be... He's human again. Like, he was, like, a little non-human in the past, and now he gets his emotions back. He's human again. And I didn't like the scene because... As much as I hate Negan because he took my man out in season 8, but I love Negan in a way.
Well, I have heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Dead City going to be like a mini series, just like a 1 season 6 episode?
What
thing?
is Dead City?
That City is the spin-off.
Well, it's been
of Maggie
changed to
and Negan.
Dead City. It was Isle of the Dead.
Yeah.
now it's
Maggie
Dead
and Negan
City.
spinoff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're all mini shows because Rick and Michonne are only getting 6 episodes as well.
Well, they
Yeah.
said that there's a chance for more than 1 season, but they're starting with just the 6, I think. Because there's no way they could wrap the whole thing up in 6.
They're probably going to see if it picks up and how many people are going to keep watching after this.
It's Rick and
because I think
Michonne.
a lot of people are going to stop watching, and like Rick and Michonne's going to be the most popular one, probably.
Yes. They've been gone for so long, they could give us 16 fucking episodes of good shit.
I know, right?
That they could give
Catch
us
up what happened all the time.
They've been gone for come on now. Y'all, a lot of time has passed. Y'all could do one whole episode just about that day from Rick to the helicopter to wherever the fuck the helicopter landed. That could be one whole episode by itself.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be. I feel like. I
Just
mean,
make
there's
it
so much
good.
story.
Well, the reason I'm saying that, if it's a miniseries, I mean, maybe Annie is fine, and Negan, for some reason, needs to travel, to that particular...
Well, we never saw Herschel
to-
in the pictures. So
Yeah.
what if Herschel gets taken away somewhere else? She never gets back for Herschel in this season.
Well,
I would be surprised if they do that again, though, because I just knew when they snatched Annie and Herschel earlier, they was going to New York, but they got him back. So it's just like, I don't think they would do that again. I mean,
No, I think Herschel's probably not going to die. I don't think they would. I think the fans would fucking flip.
Let me tell you something.
Who do you think
If
they would flip more over,
listen,
RJ or Herschel?
Listen, if they
Herschel.
killed Herschel, I would
Uh-oh.
uh-oh.
Your anger
Her
came in so
scream
strong
was
that
so
it turned your
powerful, she
connection.
muted the mic again.
I don't know why it's doing that. If they killed Herschel, I would disown Walking Dead. I swear to God.
Yeah.
So you guys
They
think
don't
that
got no right.
that losing Herschel would have more of an impact than losing RJ?
Yes, because they have not made us invested in the most greatest child we could have ever had.
Not
A
gonna do
fucking
that, y'all.
Michonne baby.
They only seen it, what,
I'm not
3,
going
4
to slander
times?
RJ.
I'm not slandering him. I'm slandering the writers. They've done a terrible fucking job. They could have
Right,
made him
right, right.
amazing.
A
Yeah.
Michonne
I think
baby.
he said 20 words in the entire series. That's right.
Maybe.
Literally. A Rashon baby.
How did the Halloween costume go, by the way, Machond,
I
of
still haven't
RJ?
did it yet. Shame on me. I'm gonna do
It's
it.
November.
This is the thing. I never planned on doing it for Halloween. I just wanted to remake a clip of Walking Dead. And then I was like, oh, Halloween, that would be great timing. And I still haven't done it.
Yeah, you
I'm
had
gonna
one
do it.
job.
Literally, one job.
One job last episode. Yeah, everyone else was
gonna
in
do it.
costume, you know, of various levels of quality. I looked like a prick named Rick, but yeah, so, but I'm saying if Herschel's still alive, Annie could still be alive, and if it's a 6, episode miniseries where Maggie and Negan have to team up, which, according to at least one of the pictures I've seen, they're still not, buddy-buddy. So I don't think this is going to be a permanent arrangement. But Annie could be fine. Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
That's been my favorite joke ever since she's been introduced. I just want to know, like, when they was taking Negan at first, I was like, damn, is he going to disappear? And that's how he split up. Like, I genuinely am curious as how people are going to split up from each other. Because this is the last thing that they are in the mood to do, is to split up. So I'm very curious. Like, is the Maggie and Negan shit going to lead to the Rick stuff later? I don't even know. Daryl is going over there to, he gonna fuck around and tell us how the apocalypse started, or like, I don't know, something. So I don't know.
I think it'll all lead to the CRM eventually, because
You want them to connect so bad.
But no, it is
Nobody.
going-
Look,
Exactly.
nobody, Tomaj. Well, the CRM connection.
I'm gonna do it.
I've
every
given up
episode.
hope. I've given up hope.
We
I'm
got
not giving up
2 episodes left, and, I
I'll
think
tell
we'll
y'all
probably
why
get
about next
hints.
week's episode, because I got one for next week. But
Somebody, please give Tomaj Angela Kang number, because he needs answers.
I'm gonna connect him. I'm gonna connect it somehow, whether she tell us or not. I'm gonna connect you. But the CRM is literally based in New York. Their main facilities in New York, so it gotta somehow lead. Whether they just see the helicopter in the distance with the logo, it's gonna lead them to something. They gonna see it.
I mean, shit, watch him just find like a random fucking can of food at Commonwealth that just has the 3 rings. They're like, oh, what's this? And Pamela's like, oh, Officer Grimes dropped that off, last month. Grimes, what? And then like, bam.
I think we're gonna get it in the post-credit scene.
I know they're gonna give us some bullshit 30-second thing where it's just like it'll
They
just
gon-
randomly
you know what they
pan
gonna
and he'll
do?
be like, hello. It's just like some random super dramatic like bogus ass shit.
He's gonna end up in the
It
hospital, and that's how it starts. That's the ending. Rick in the hospital bed.
No,
Yeah,
I want them to start the shit off with him in the helicopter opening his ass like, bitch, what the fuck? That's what I needed
No,
to
what they'll
start
probably
from the
do.
last place we
What
seen
they'll
him.
probably do is they'll have him wake up in a hospital bed in the CRM and be looking around and there's no one there, and he gets up in his,
with the dead flowers.
yeah, the flowers are
Right.
dead.
And then we just rewatch the whole thing.
yeah.
Keep going.
Crazy. Somebody please give Tomaj Angela Kang number. He needs the fucking CRM answers. Are
I'm
they
gonna
going
make the
to
CRM
connect?
So
Are they going to connect?
Would you
They
guys be
are.
mad if they re-edited the pilot episode to include the 3-ring logo on that helicopter that Rick walks past after he leaves the hospital? I think that'd be a funny Easter egg if they did that. If they just like
well,
put
or
that
the one that he
like
sees in the city, did they have 3 rings on it?
No, not that we saw.
Wasn't
but
it like
I've-
a reflection or something off the building that he saw?
yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it would have been cool if that was.
He didn't get to really look at it for a long time. He just saw.
No,
it.
I think the only time he did was in season 8 when he was walking back after fighting with Daryl, and he like looked in the sky and was like, "Oh, there's a helicopter," and just like,
I would be surprised too if the CRM was already doing the logo, the rings that early on. Like that was Rick.
I
was
mean-
like what, 60 days in? I don't think they were. That
yeah. Rick woke up, I think, just under 60 days in, but I know that fear's got to play a part in it somehow because the timelines add up nearly perfectly to where, like, when Rick gets taken is just about where I think it's like a month before where Fear has left off currently. So,
And they've been showing the CRM. Fear ain't disappointed.
yeah,
with the
Fear's
CRM.
like CRM for days in Fear. So
that's why I'm so surprised. And I mean, World
How
Beyond
many
gave us a
seasons
good
are there
look.
on Fair now? Because I think I only seen 4.
7, 8 is starting in the spring, right? Or
I've
February?
seen 4 or 5. The rest hasn't aired here yet. It's not on
Yeah,
Amazon
somebody
yet. but I
wanted to
haven't
know
seen-
if I was going to start doing the compilations of, catch up on the compilations of Fear reactions, and I'm like, that probably would require me watching the episode, and I'm not that masochistic.
I stopped watching Fear after Virginia got killed. Like when I tell you, I can't with bad TV. I genuinely cannot fucking do it.
That was like one of the
How could you
best
do that?
episodes of season 6. What do you mean?
I didn't stop on that exact episode, but it was
Okay,
around that
I was gonna say
time.
season 6 was
Season
arguably
6,
one of the best
all the way
seasons.
to
Last
the
thing
end
I
was
seen
good.
was John dying. That's the last
I'm
episode.
finna go on my website and see what was the last part of Fear that I watched.
See, I posted the season 7 premiere, and then I continued watching season 7, and I'm like, damn, this is painful. I don't want to edit these, so I just didn't edit
It was
them.
so
Can't watch
bad.
it again, yeah.
What's
No,
the
I'm like,
logic for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dwight's still
I
alive.
feel so bad for the actors having to deal with those, though. Like, they had some
They did a
powerhouse.
great
All right,
job
we are
visually.
getting way off base,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, we are.
We can have a Fear the Walking Dead hate session stream at some point.
Oh wow, I didn't even put it on my website. It's that bad.
Yeah,
It's so
not gonna
bad.
disagree, but of course there's some people who really
It's
like
on
Fear,
YouTube.
and that's perfectly fine. You can like what you like, but
Fear just had a rough patch, and I just couldn't get through that rough patch. So that's where I quit watching.
I mean, season 7 for me, just everything went downhill. Season 5 had its horrible moments, but yeah. But anyway, let's move on. So Ezekiel fucking walks in front of the guns for Negan, which was like, Negan's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I don't know." That was like a perfect response.
Like Negan said, hope. That's Ezekiel's thing. Ezekiel gonna give you some hope, but so when Negan was in the office being interrogated by the warden, and that man transfer got denied, I instantly knew he'd be the one to help us in the end.
Oh
of the
yeah, he
episode.
pulled an Arthur and
I already
everything.
knew.
Oh yeah.
I already knew that he was gonna help us later on. I didn't know when, but when they showed us that, I said, "Oh yeah, he gonna come through later." Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because that
Shout out to
dickheaded
that
warden knows only the stick, not the carrot. He doesn't know that you have to. You do have to be firm with discipline, but you also have to be nasty to people. So
Yeah, Negan definitely had a carrot on his stick, but yeah, he just is all stick, no
that just
carrot.
didn't sound right.
I feel like the warden was like a soccer coach back in the day or something. Some like bogus ass thing. Like it reminded me of the conversation Joe had with Daryl when he was like, "Oh, so like any guy with a gun, he could have been like some photographer or like some like just basically saying like who's like been through some shit, but it like any random person can like just pick up a gun and but like he seems like the type of guy that he like. It almost reminded me of the thing with Paula and Carol and Maggie, where she was like, "Oh, I was a secretary, but now I'm this bad bitch." It's like, okay, I get it. But then this dude, he just screamed just pathetic and like soccer coach vibes or soccer dad vibes.
He did one or two bad things and makes other people do bad things, and so all of a sudden he knows what it means to make hard calls and he know how to be a leader. Like, nah.
Yeah. And it's like
We had that
even
discussion.
even by that sentiment, it still doesn't even compare to Negan, because even though Negan was like a gym teacher or whatever, he still was able to. Well, I mean, I hope that we get more. I know that you guys really can't stand it, but I do think it would be a really interesting story to see the way that they like took over and like saved Sanctuary from like whatever tyrant that was worse than Negan before him. I think that would be a cool, like, even if it was like a Tales episode, not like a whole series, it'd be cool if it was a series, but yeah, I
you
don't
gotta
know.
say that despite all Negan's faults, he had people that were very loyal to him.
Yeah, he knew how to rally people and get he knew when to use fear and when to not. Whereas this guy didn't really seem to know, like he just only used fear.
Though
There
I
was
think with
little
Dwight,
to no.
I think with Dwight he miscalculated quite a bit because
Oh,
was
absolutely.
pissing off Dwight.
Well, that's because he was dogging Dwight more than anybody. He was on
Yeah.
his ass.
I mean, I don't blame him though. They
24/7.
after they stole the shit, like even like it wasn't right for him to do what he did to Dwight, but I don't blame him for doing it. Like they're like, nah,
He
we just want to take
stole-
all your meds.
He
I
stole
mean, even his right hand
insulin.
man was
Yeah,
against him.
he stole all the insulin from the community. Like it wasn't like it was their insulin.
They
just
did not
took
have
it.
that much insulin. They only had a little bit in that little cooler.
Yeah, I know, but
they did not have that much
it
in
didn't
there.
belong to them. It was for everyone in the community, and they're like, "Nah, we're just gonna take it and run." And Negan's like, "That's
No.
kind of fucked up." And he shouldn't have like the whole like burning thing. Is fucking stupid.
How many?
You're just
how
risking.
many diabetics were there really? Like,
We don't know. We don't know.
A diabetic took some insulin as they were fucking escaping for their lives, but no.
Actually, to be honest, if there was a zombie apocalypse, if we lost the infrastructure, diabetics would
Are
not
fucked.
last long.
No, they wouldn't last. They
Yeah,
wouldn't
they're
last
fucked.
as long as they did at the sanctuary anyway. They would have been gone before that.
Yeah,
Which is like, I do like that added detail though in 612 when they open the one room when Abe busts the door open and it's just all weed. And
That
it's
was
like,
so
oh,
funny.
Lucille.
And nobody ever spoke about it again.
No,
And we
which
never
begs
saw
the
anybody
question:
smoke
where
weed.
did it go?
We never saw anybody smoke ever.
Maybe that's
Only
what
Daryl
Carol
and
was
his
baking.
cigarettes.
All those cookies Carol been baking, they were black cookies.
We never saw
applesauce and
anybody
weed.
smoke. Shit, working for Negan, you need
Maybe
to get a
that's
little
how they.
hat
Maybe
sometime.
that's how they got everyone so chill after the season 8 finale. They all just started baking pot cookies and
we
shit.
are at an hour and a half, people. We
sorry.
gotta start wrapping this thing up.
Yeah.
Especially because some people, it's like 4:30 in the morning for them.
I'm the best time. It's 7:30 p.m. Sorry.
Well, anyway, I don't think she even saw it.
Nope. She's on her
I
phone.
wasn't even looking. What happened?
Never mind.
Watching
Watch
the
it
vibe.
back.
You can watch the
Say that.
replay. But so that whole shit went down. I love the fact that they were able to reach out to the stormtroopers because they have been shown that they had personalities, and that whole thing happened. But I gotta say, Rosita's interrogation of the warden, that was fucking awesome. I mean, she just like, oh, there's a biter, grab him. It's like, you tell me the guy, for all being a prick, he stuck to his guns. He was a moron.
I knew he wasn't gonna tell where the other kids was at. I knew I knew he wasn't gonna be somebody we could get through to. Rosie, nigga, no, don't kill him.
I respect the fact that he listened. Because
And then
last
when
time
it
he
got
had
the
that
wall-
look, he was taking out Brandon. And he wanted to do it. You could see it in his face. But he knew Mama Rosita ain't going to take no shit. So he's like,
all
what?
he heard was
Mama Bear
somebody holler
vengeance.
his name, and he was like, and yeah, that was the best Walker kill of the day. Of course, I thought it was his nose that he bit, but then
I
when
thought
they
it was
showed
too,
the-
but then it looked like
they
cheek and
showed the
eye.
eyeball. I was like, because
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that was so good.
Who do you guys think are going to be the final two, Judith narrations?
That is a very good question. We got Carol, we got Daryl, we got Maggie and Negan. How many episodes have we watched? 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 22. So that's 6. Carol, Daryl, Maggie, Negan.
Yes.
The first one was everybody, right? I thought the first one was like,
Daryl.
I thought the first one was general, and then the one with Daryl stabbing Lance in the hand, 18. I
missing
thought that was
2.
Daryl.
It was Carol, Daryl,
Oh, yeah, I'm
Maggie,
thinking
Negan, and who were the other 2?
It was Daryl.
Eugene,
No, we're missing 2.
Carol, Daryl, Negan, Maggie, Eugene. That's 5.
Ah, Eugene.
Negan's from six
I missed
episodes.
Eugene.
Did you say Negan?
And then I thought the first one that we got, I thought 17 was like a general one with everybody.
When did you?
I can go back and look. But I'm not sure.
Well, I was just thinking like main character wise, with 2 left, logically you would think Rosita and Gabe maybe.
Fuck Gabriel. He ain't getting one.
Jack, have you seen 23?
Yes, but that's why I'm asking, because I want opinions, and I'm going in with the thought I had beforehand, which those were the 2 that I thought were going to be the final 2.
I have not seen it. No one say anything.
That's why I was
seen it
asking
either.
for your opinion, because I'm curious as to who you think would be like a good final 2.
out of all of the top main characters who haven't had one yet, I feel like Rosita is more of a main character than Gabriel.
Rosita and Aaron, maybe?
Ooh, I would love for Aaron to have one.
But to be fair, Aaron's only been in the show for about half of it, whereas Rosita's been in there since 410. Aaron's only been in here since 5.
How about Judith
10.
herself?
Wait, what did you say?
Maybe. But it's I don't know. It sounds like Judith's the one like telling someone a story. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe,
Well,
She
I
might
have
not
to
refer-
say,
ones
we
stuff,
kind
so-
of didn't talk. We talked about Aaron finding out about meeting up with Luke and Jules. We didn't talk about their decision to go with the go Whisperer style to avoid
his
the troops.
his worst fear. That night.
I wanted to talk about it at one point during this, but I forgot because we went off on a tangent.
I
But
forgot
really
about
quick,
We go off on tangents. Never happens.
Yeah. It was so good when they were on their way. Whoever it was, like they heard the Commonwealth soldiers, and Lydia looked at that walker that was laying down. I said, "Oh, we're going back to your roots." It was so good. They did.
I was
the
just
whole-
praying they didn't put any on their face because we
wouldn't have
saw
put
how
nothing on my
well
face.
that worked
Not
out.
after what happened to Gabriel. I was-
No, it's so
Oh.
that's like one thing that's like a minor like nitpick is that like that seems so inconsistent because we have scenes like with in what was it season
Rick
9
has
or
literally
10.
gotten walker guts in his mouth.
Yeah, and then we
Yeah.
had the scene with Daryl when Carol like went and lied to him and went and took that Whisperer hostage, and Daryl had to gut the walker and literally was just like gut it and just like literally full face, mouth, eyes,
There have
everything.
been things
It's like-
that have not come through.
But
like-
also,
But
I
it was
would
like
assume-
face
on her face.
I know, but I would assume that Daryl's tolerance for anything
Well, yeah,
would be higher than Gabriel's. He grew up
just
eating raw
naturally
squirrel.
has fleas on him at all times.
He
So
grew up eating raw squirrel.
and has never showered.
Not raw squirrel.
He
He
eats
cooks
raw
it.
squirrel.
I hope he cooked it at least.
No, there was a scene in one of the earlier seasons where Rick like stabbed a biter, and the knife broke and it cut his hand and it got.
Oh
like-
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
And we
when he
thought
gets
there's
over
going to
his
be
hand.
something coming from that.
because
and
it's
it never
literally in
did.
his
Yeah.
bloodstream.
And Sasha, before they got to Alexandria, cut the one walker, went through the walker, and cut Abe in the arm. Nothing happened.
yeah, literal. That's
and then
straight to the
Gamma
bloodstream.
too. When in season 10, Gamma was like pissed off and stabbing the one walker, and then the walker
She had
like,
it the
it bounced
worst.
and slit her
Yeah.
hand open.
Hers was real bad.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's really weird and inconsistent. I don't know, but
But
as
then
long
they
as they're not
dipped-
covering their face.
But then they dip their arrows in Walker guts and scratch Tobin, and he turns into a fucking biter.
Yeah.
I mean, Negan did it with all his weapons, and the
Yeah,
in the
and
blood
it just
stuff.
seemed to magically work for every single one of them.
Yeah.
That was literal biological warfare that Negan did. That was so sick.
I mean, hey, at least it wasn't some like
He was in the
Nagasaki
car
wasn't
with
in
the
the
type
bucket
shit.
lab.
full of blood. He was in
That was
the
good.
car with the bucket full of blood, and then the car.
You look
Uh,
beautiful, baby.
That shit was so disgusting.
All right.
I'm
We
stuttering
got to
just
get to the
thinking.
final
Yes,
scene.
we do,
And we gotta wrap this up because it's. Yeah.
Really
we're-
quick, there is a climber in the little herd that they walking in right now. I
Oh,
was
yeah,
so
he
mad when that walker
picked up the
knocked
knife.
that knife out of Lydia's hand. I was like, fuck, why wasn't she holding it real tight? Fuck.
Right.
No,
That's
she dropped it. She dropped it.
The walker bumped her, and that's how she dropped it, and then the walker picked it up, and I was like, fuck.
A
Yeah,
different biter did. Yeah. Like fell down, and was like, "Hey, I want this." Got up and
What I'm trying to figure out is if it purposely dropped down to pick the knife up or just happened to
looked
stumble
like
and
it.
fall, and
I
then
think
because
it
it
dropped
saw
to
it,
pick
it
up the
grabbed
knife
it.
on purpose.
It looked like
because
it was body slamming
That's
itself to the
scarier if that's
ground
what
for that
happened.
knife.
You know it was a walker because they literally threw themselves to the ground to pick it up. They didn't give a fuck.
I knew that
And then
it
picked
fell,
up the
but-
knife by the knife, not the handle. So that was not a person.
Yeah, I want to get more into that. I wish they would have done this just slightly earlier in the season so we could explore them a bit more.
Yeah,
It-
like
it
as
does
cool as the
seem-
Reapers could have been, the fact that they had to rush through it to get to Commonwealth. If we had like a full like half season or full season of the Reapers
12
like fully
seasons
fleshed
of Walking
out,
Dead would have been great. 12 seasons.
we pretty much have that. If you count the
Nah.
episodes out, no, like if you drop season 10 at 16, we're ending this with enough episodes to where it would have been 12 full seasons.
No,
Yeah, we had
exactly
6
what.
additional
No, I
episodes
want
in
exactly
season 10.
what we got plus the whole 12, and that the whole
no,
season 12, and that would have been good.
the first season was short, And yeah, this does not quite make it makes up for a couple.
Season 1 was literally 6 episodes. So
Well, I'm saying that adding the extra episodes on to season 10.
Them ain't extra. That's regular to me. That ain't extra.
They didn't really have much implication. The only one that was really relevant at all was here's Negan and then find me. The other ones didn't really have long-term implications. Like divert. Well, that's what I'm saying. The Reapers didn't really even end up being a worthy thing to keep in because they rushed through it.
The only thing that really irritated me with the Reapers is they were so hyped, and just to find out that Maggie didn't do anything to them. I was waiting for some big reveal that she was so fucking bad.
That just was kind of poor writing to me. I'm like, if you're gonna hype them up and have them be this hellbent on revenge, you gotta have them do something to warrant that. Otherwise, it's like, how could they be a functional group up to this point if they have that vengeance for no reason that easily? It just didn't make sense.
You showed up. You tried to take Maggie's home. She obviously fought back.
How you doing, Tomaj?
I'm just listening.
Tomaj just wants.
I mean, he shares in the Reaper hatred, I think. Right?
Tomaj just wants the CRM to roll up to the fucking Commonwealth so bad.
I'm waiting. I need to see a meeting. I need to see something.
All right.
Imagine Rick walks up in the gear and just takes out, and it's just.
I don't
Rick.
want to see that. Ain't nobody said nothing like that.
I know you just want the soldiers.
Yes, I do. I need a meeting. I need
to know what our people to know this. He just needs the connection. He wants the crossover.
I do.
We'll get one in a film at some point.
I gotta drop out, y'all. It's nearly 5 a.m. I have doctors and dentists tomorrow. I really need to go.
Ryan, it was great to have you back.
I'll see y'all next week.
Yep. Be healthy.
I'll be. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
All right, and now let's talk about the final scene. Dead man walking, sack over his head. Eugene's being walked through the corridors by the stormtroopers, and then Mercer's there. They take off the sack, and it's like, let's fuck shit up. That was, I agree, that was one of the best endings. I can't think of necessarily a better ending. Maybe when Rick said they don't know who they're dealing with.
They're fucking with the wrong people.
Fucking with the wrong. Was
that in the train car?
Yeah.
That might be on par, but this was Mercer
this aired live though. The original one for the Rick that aired live, they're screwing with the wrong people, doesn't even come close. Now, if the one that was on the Blu-ray aired live, that'd be a battle, but it didn't. Yeah. So I'm like, I did I don't know. Machond and Tomaj, once we're done with the call, check my Twitter. I did an F-bomb tally of like throughout the series, which was kind of fun to do. Of who has the most, and most of you, I'm sure you guys know that Negan obviously has the most at this point. But I was surprised at how many there's been so far. There's been a lot.
But you're talking Blu-ray. You're talking not the stuff that aired on AMC for the general public.
Well, I'm just talking in general because if you're not in the States, if you're watching on Netflix, you get the F-bombs. So you don't have to get the Blu-ray for them for the most part. I mean, other than the weird Walmart thing with Negan, where it's they have the uncensored speech, but now you can't watch it because it was through some other hosting site that shut down, which is really kind of annoying because I was someone that paid for that specifically for that scene. And if you go to watch it, it's oh, go to this website, and you go to the website's gone. And I'm like, how could Walking Dead put this as a promotional thing and then not continue hosting the website? So now people that bought this don't have access to the uncensored finale anymore, which is really weird. I've been searching high and low to try and find it, and I cannot find it anywhere. It is so fucking irritating.
I hear you. So I pretty much believe that Mercer, probably the minute that Princess was taken, was I'm fed up with this shit, but as Machond was saying earlier, he's the smartest one because he's keeping his rebellion quiet, under wraps. He's not coming out against Pamela directly.
Fuck you, Pam. Like, sir, that's not gonna help us, sir.
And he waited to the last possible second because like Eugene was going to get executed. So it's like, okay, I got to act now because I can't let him
Mercer
die.
already had his plan because he's been in the Commonwealth years. He know how this shit works. He literally runs the soldiers. He already knew where he was going to take them, where they execute people. He already knew everything that was going to happen. And he was standing down there with his fine self. Time to fuck shit up.
Well,
nobody
the soldiers who were walking Eugene down obviously were in on it, or else they would have been like,
are his
what's going on
closest
here?
soldiers, of course. You know, he would only trust his closest soldiers with such information. Bring him to me. Like, yeah, so.
Time to fuck shit up. That was a good line, though. I'm like, because that's what I've been saying this whole time.
And that was totally ad-libbed. It was not in the script. There were alternate versions of that ending. So.
They picked the best one. I literally screamed. It was so good.
So I'm very curious to see what happens now that Mercer has come out against Pamela.
Because I don't know what his next move is. Like, I know he's going to be the key to beating Pam, obviously. But I just don't know how he going to do it. I know he got something figured out, but I have no fucking clue how we're going to do this. Like, Alexandria, okay, we got that. But I don't know how we're going to take down Pam. Because
imagine we don't.
I don't know.
Imagine if they're just like, yeah, no, it's not going to be a happy ending. It's going to be sad, and you're all going to be upset.
I'm not. First of all, don't tell me that because you've seen 23, so I don't want to hit.
No, I'm talking about like end of the entire show.
I don't know.
Could you imagine if they were just like, yeah, all
running...
the things you want to happen, not going to happen.
Pam is not going to be running the Commonwealth at the end.
Imagine if she did, though. Could you imagine how shocked we all would have been if when they did have them all lined up at the windmill, they just gunned all of them down? Everybody, like, they went to stand with them. It's like, oh, we're going to make a stand. And it's just like, never mind. Just mow all of them down.
I would have been like
Zeke, so, Nabila, everybody.
I'd have been like, so what is the end of the show?
It would have hurt so much. We'd all been so upset.
Someone in the chat was posting what possibly are spoilers, and I have removed them entirely. So
see, this is why I don't read the chat no more.
Well, they weren't even spoilers with episode 23. They were potentially spoilers to the end of the season, and it could be total
No one
bullshit.
has seen the episode yet. Like, nice try. No one's seen it. Otherwise, we would hashtag TWD spoilers would be trending on Twitter, skyrocketing. So no one's actually seen it.
If the ending of a show as big as Walking Dead was out already, this shit would be all over TikTok, Instagram, Twitter,
and
YouTube.
It's not.
This shit would be everywhere. Y'all will come on here and tell me, Machond, it is not safe in these streets. Do not get on the internet for the next 2 weeks.
Well, whether or not they were true or not, I have removed the person. It's like even fooling around with that shit. We don't like that. The governor don't play that. So
on a reaction.
I don't either. They get deleted. I literally block people from my channel if they drop a spoiler. They're literally like blocked. You can't even come back. Zero tolerance for spoilers.
You know, I blocked somebody and they had like 4 accounts of the same name, and they kept commenting. I'm like, block.
Have you ever seen that video?
I don't even feel like I need to block people. They just leave because, in my opinion, like I don't even have to do anything half the time.
You're that irritating. I mean,
it's great. It's so little work. Whereas, like, I feel bad, Tomaj. Just like with you, you're just having a good time, and they just can't handle it. They're like, I need to tell them how I feel. And you're like, I don't want to hear it.
I need to go read Tomaj's comments. I really need to go read
because all the bad ones are gone because he gets annoyed by them.
Oh, well, that's good. He protecting his energy.
I block. I'm like, all right, yeah. After I see him, if I see him twice, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hear from you no more.
I mean, I don't care. Some of the comments that could be, you know, I've been called the fat governor, whatever. I don't give a shit. But when it's like
fluffy governor.
But if it's someone who's put in spoilers or things that I don't think are appropriate to share with everybody. You know, if you find out something ahead of time, that's one thing, then your ass is gone. Mm-hmm. All right. So it's going to be a very interesting episode 23. 3 of us can attest to that. And we will talk about that next week. So let's wrap this up. Tomaj, tell people where you can be found.
You guys can find me over my channel, Big Bro and Lil Sis Reacts. Like I said, my 23 reaction is up. I don't got no episode to watch next week, so I get a little break, calm before the storm. But I do have other things that I watch. We're watching Titans right now, Stargirl, Andor. I'm doing Game of Thrones. One of those reactions will be out tomorrow. So I'm doing tons of things. So check me out. Check out my Patreon that has exclusive shows that we're doing. And yeah, I'll be back next week for 23. I can't wait to talk about that one, baby.
Please watch House of the Dragon.
You're watching Andor, but no one is listening. No one is I'm sorry.
Please watch House of the Dragon.
I am soon.
Please watch House of the Dragon. It's better than Game of Thrones.
Catch up on Game of Thrones.
Leave me alone. I'm going to finish Game of Thrones.
It's been a month, and you're still stuck in the same episode.
I know, and then my internet went out for 2 days, and I had to catch up on Walking Dead. And I did watch 5 episodes of House of the Dragon, so that took my Game of Thrones time up, but I am going to.
2 or 3 weeks ago.
No, it ain't been 3 weeks. I think it's been.
Machond was
are
so
you her
upset.
agent? Are you like making money off when she puts
I'm
up
a mod, so I can have a little bit of say.
But you don't make any money, so shut up. Machond, where
I don't
can
make
people
any
find
on my
you?
channel either. But that's not the point. I'm
Me and
trying to
Jack-
have one of us making it.
We have a very interesting dynamic when it comes to Game of Thrones, and Jack is literally like, I be needing cheerleaders, like, because Game of Thrones is fucked up.
He's not a cheerleader. He's a nag.
Game of Thrones.
I was a cheerleader for the Walking Dead comics. Trust me. I was in there with Phyllis being a sugar daddy almost.
Listen, Game of Thrones is fucked up. How do people binge that shit?
I binged it,
You're
but I'm
sick.
also fucked up. I know this, though. We know this. How do you think I was able to get through more than half the show in like 2 weeks?
Man.
I had to fortify my mind before I watched episode.
Tomaj, the
Literally.
episode you just
I'm like,
watched, she spent that whole episode pissed off, saying, "Where's Arya? Where's Arya?" Whole episode didn't give a shit about how badass and awesome the episode was. Whole episode just complaining about wondering where Arya was the whole time.
Arya's goated though, for real. That's my
I'm not saying
favorite
she's
character.
not, but she didn't care about the episode. It was a great episode, wasn't it?
No.
I
I don't.
was.
didn't give a
Battle of the
shit.
Wall.
So let us
92
know in the
facts.
chat. If
Right, let's get off
after-
this, 'cause
if
we finna
after
argue for
Walking
30
Dead,
minutes.
if we should still meet every week for them to just talk about all the random bullshit, because that's like half our episodes anyway. Complaining about previous seasons, complaining about other shows.
Oh, Phyllis is in the chat. I love you,
Slander and
Phyllis.
fear.
Love you, Phyllis.
Our
So,
little daily beats, we gotta get in there.
Machond, tell people where they can find you.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't even say that. You can find me at talkingeattv.com. My 1122 reaction is loading right now, and the 1122 podcast is loading. I'm not going to look at it until we end this call, because every time I looked at it, my computer was like, no, bitch, get back on Zoom. Your microphone isn't working. That's why I was checking on my video, so that's when it was cutting off. It wouldn't let me open a new tab, so now I'm scared. So yeah, everything is loading right now, and more House of the Dragon will be uploaded this week too.
Sweet. Jack.
Hello, you can find me at Jack's World. Got a little
Now we
sign
wanna
for
get
it now
calm.
too. I don't want to peak the mic, and I'm going on like 3 hours of sleep. Okay, I had to get my 22 up. All right, my 22 is up. My 23 is up on Patreon right now. I'm probably not going to get it edited tonight. I'll probably get it. I'll get it up eventually though. But I'm through House of the Dragon and Stranger Things over on
they have pills
Patreon.
if you need to get it up.
Bro, trust me, I got pills for that up, energy up, whatever you need, I got you.
He
Your
got
dealer
Carol's
if you
coffee
need it.
pills. He ready.
Bro, we're not gonna talk about that unless you're trying to buy. I will be posting the Stranger Things and House of Dragons videos hopefully soon. But yeah,
Jack, you
and-
still ain't got that Stranger Things shit up? The edited or the uncut?
Oh, the uncut went up the day I watched
Oh,
it.
okay. Just making sure, because I was about to fight.
That's how my uncuts go up. I have so much uncut stuff up, but I worked 10 and a half hours of overtime on my last paycheck. I haven't had the time to be
believe
editing
you.
stuff. I got like 7 seasons of shows up on Patreon that I haven't finished
Thank
for
you,
the
Norm.
YouTube yet. It's crazy, but I'm hoping to get there. I'm so close to 3K. I'm pushing. I'm like 50 away. I'm inching there, but I'm gonna get there. I was
And
hoping for 5, but I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get to 3 before this fucking show ends. I know it. It's gonna
If you
happen.
believe it is gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It's taken 12 years, but it's gonna happen.
Wow. Anyway, moving
Some
on.
faith, Kyle. Some support would be nice, man. Damn.
12 years, man.
You can end it. It's fine, man.
Anyway, my episode 23 action will be up tomorrow. I am joining the dark side and posting early. And I have some makeup reactions, 14, 15, and 16, that I'm putting up. They will be up before the finale. So I'll be all caught up for the end. Tune in on Fandom Spotlite for VCR Redux. I believe this week is Starship Troopers. So going to be talking about, how to continue that franchise. And, I will see all of you fine people. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is one of our, I think, more full chats that we've had. One of our more successful live streams. So as we get
and
to
our
the
longest
end,
stream probably to date.
yeah.
Just about 2 hours. That was a good
Stream,
chat.
yes. Chat, no.
Yeah,
We've
the finale's
chatted
gonna
for.
be at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
I already.
But
I'm
23 is probably gonna be 2 hours.
Do you guys want me to take off work that Monday and or
I could-
Tuesday? Do you guys want me to do that too, so that I
Jack,
can?
there's
just...
only 2 episodes of Walking Dead left. We only gonna get to do this.
We
2 more
did
times
break a
for
sales
Walking
record
Dead.
in October, so I have an extra day that I can take because my birthday is that Saturday, so I'm already going to be struggling that Sunday. So we'll see, but I think I will. I think
Y'all-
it warrants it.
Everybody in the chat, don't go to sleep yet. My 11:22 thing is uploading, and I'm gonna talk shit in the chat. Like, please don't go to sleep. I'm sorry, my shit takes time. Don't go to sleep.
all right, well, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks you guys for being here for our longest live stream thus far. And
Wait till I see 23.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
All of us know.
And we'll see you next week, Governor and this fantastic crew. Out.
Highly sedated, intoxicated. We're automated and overpopulated. We're all fish in a stream, swimming towards a vicious dream.